Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to my shame stories. I'm recording those sets of videos as a part of overcoming panic attacks. This is gonna be the third set of exercises for people who have a panic attack, and I'm just sharing the first portion with you of this exercise. If you want to do the entire thing, you could purchase the entire course and overcome panic attacks with me, basically. So in these sets of exercises, we are overcoming shame. And in this video of today, I'm gonna talk about shame of my beautiful years. Yes, I was ashamed of those beautiful years. I wanna show you how beautiful they are before I tell you the story of my years, because they have a story. And right now I do not hear with this year because somebody hit me in December of 2024, and I lose my hearing on this ear. I think there is a damage on my tympan, so I do not hear very well on this side now. But let's hope that it's gonna recover with time. So I'm gonna talk about the shame of my ears. Childhood story again for you guys. If you're gonna do the exercises, the first portion is the story. You write the story and you write your feelings about it. If you journal with me about your shame, you could see the first video that gives you a shame dictionary, and then you could go ahead and journal. Write your story. What is your story? Why are you ashamed of something? And this is my story today. I was ashamed a very long time from my ears. As you can see, I think they're beautiful now. I have nothing to be ashamed of. They're gorgeous. But as a child, that was a problem. That was a problem because my father will gather us and talk about, he had this period to talk about the ears, and he studied the facial expression, and he would read of these books and then interpret things and comment on the form and the shape of our ears. So what was the problem with my ears? They were small. That's a bad thing, because it means that I am underdeveloped. Small ears, it means that I am not able to hear well and I'm not able to listen. And because of that, same as the problem with my nose, my father had a solution, because naturally he compared my ears to the size of the ears of my sisters and brothers, who have a bigger ears, well developed, and mine were small. Small ears, it means that I am not listening at all. Particularly, I am not able to listen. So in order to correct this, my father have a solution that I have to pull them like this. Yes, so I have to pull them at night. And my sister, my sister Nadezhda, she particularly enjoy any process of sadism or pulling me, or she had this tendency as a child, and I believe she has them right now. She is sadical. I am afraid of her, and God help whoever is around this woman. So she would pull them also very strongly, and sometimes she will pull them like this, and this portion of the skin will be cracked. I remember they will bleed, and it hurts, you know, if you pull the ear like this and you crack the skin. It's not fun. It's painful, I promise you. So the problem was that they were small and I cannot listen. And again, compared to my sisters that have a perfect ears, I was below. Of course, I was below. And I felt like I am defect I have a defect, that I am not growing up. Not only I felt like, I was convinced, because my father will gather us all and talk about these defects of mine, and having in mind that it's not like he ever talked about anything good that I was capable of, but mainly it was the negative things. So he built this idea into me about myself, that I was this scary being. And naturally, because the feedback was like that and I had nothing to compare it with, of course I believed this. And I believed that I had to be constantly corrected, because I was such a monster and I was so diabolical and scary, you know. So I believed this, that I was incapable, and I believed that what he was saying was true, and that I am ugly and scary, not like my brothers and sisters, and that this is bad. And that is really bad to have a small ears. And I was believing that when they pull me, it hurts me, because I'm so diabolical, and when they get the diabolical out of me, it hurts. I was in these delusional ideas, you know, because I was a child, and I had nothing else to compare this with. Of course, I feel ashamed of myself. Yes, because I was different, where everybody was brunette, I was blonde. I had the problem with the, also with the ears now, you know. So of course I believe this. I feel ashamed that my ears are small, and I remember when they pull me, I would have these headaches. He would usually say, come, I have to pull your ears very strongly and very well, so they can grow. And he would usually very cruelly pull me, and I had this headache in this portion of my head, because he would pull my ears, you know. I feel scary, disgusting, ashamed, insecure, uh, stupid, suffocated, hated, um, without a value. And because I felt like I was this weight, this built in me the belief that I owe things to others, that I must be ashamed of myself, and I must feel guilty because my ears are small, and I'm heavy for others. um, I'm disgusting, and I feel worried. I have this huge problem without solution. I am weak, I am miserable, I am like have this panic or tension, I feel handicapped, ridiculous, incapable. I just felt scary and a monster, you know. I was like, I am that monster because of these defects that I have, defects that my father as an absolute authority would see, and his girlfriend would, two of them, he had two girlfriends, would never in any way interact in this, and if they try, he would naturally abuse them as well. But that's about my years, you know. So you can imagine how this this situation that I share with you make me feel ashamed of just existing, of just being there, because I felt like I was below anyone else. And because I was receiving this feedback that I am having those problems, and I must be ashamed of myself, I must be worried about it, because I have these defects that indicate a violation of some crimes, underdevelopment, handicap, ugliness compared to the standards my sisters, I was not reaching this level, and naturally I was feeling like below, and also handicapped, absolutely handicapped, you know. And because of this, I felt like I have this huge unresolvable problem, the problem of being me. Yes, I was the problem, the huge problem of myself, the shame of it, and there was nothing I could do about this. That's a story, another story of my years, and I will tell you what really shocked me one day. I had a friend. Her name was Inam. Inam, if you watch this video, I'm gonna share a little story of Inam. So one day, I don't know, but for some reason we were talking about the ears, and I remember I looked Inam, and she had a big, nice, beautiful ears developed, like the exemplar ears. My father would say that they look great, like ears like my sisters and brothers. And she will pull her hair, and she's like, no, I want to push the ears back. And I was like, why? They're so beautiful. And she then shared that she was mocked by her father, that her ears were too big, like to a monkey. Guess what? And this is when I discovered that, of course, because of the fact that she was shamed about her ears, my friend, she felt like she needed to hide them. And she also believed that she had a problem with the ears, instead of overcoming the fact that she was bullied and shamed by her parent about the shape or the size of her ears. And this is probably was the first step of me thinking about the fact that I was ashamed of my ears, and she was like wanting to have like my ears, and I was wanting to have like her ears. Why? Because in my childhood I was bullied not to have big ears, and she was bullied for not having them small. And this is funny, isn't this? How we develop shame and insecurity based on other people's feedback when we are young, and when we do not have time to elaborate, we do not have base to compare, base to research, base to discover if what the parent says is absolute truth. Because as a child, we accept whatever the parent says as absolute truth, because we don't know any other truth. We have no internet, we cannot read, we do not have another parent to come and tell us something new, something else, something comforting. Other parents who are healthy, or people around us, if they are healthy people, they cannot imagine that your parent will bully you about the shape of your ears. And the father girlfriends who were present in this bullying, they were also taking part of it, with excusing themselves that they did not understand those spiritual laws, that they have no idea that my father is the entitled, enlightened person who understands those spiritual laws about the defects related to my ear, and they don't. And of course they act like victims, because they have benefits from it usually. I don't feel victim. I'm just sharing with you the story why I was ashamed of those beautiful years that I have today. I'm not ashamed today because I overcome this. But yeah, if you like me sharing this story, you can press like. And if you felt bad about your years, hey, you know what? You can always find somebody having your dream years and still feeling bad about it. It's not the years, but it's the beliefs that we have behind them. And in order to stop feeling ashamed, you can change the beliefs, the point of view, the way you see those things. So if you want to do this with me, you could purchase the rest of the videos if you like. If you don't like, you can use the free ones. If you want to do the journaling with me, there is an emotional dictionary in the beginning of this folder. You can use those videos to help you, to guide you in your journaling, emotional intelligence journaling. Thank you guys for being here. Bye bye.